So we just got in this package of 7 cars. You know, wealthy guy with a collection, wanted to get rid of some cars, do some horse trading. Bought this beautiful 1986 Testarossa. Guy wanted his life made simple. We wrote him a check. We went down to his house and picked up all the cars. But I'd say I'm the real winner here. I get to drive this thing. We've warmed up the engine probably about for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, holding it off idle right around 2,000 RPM, but now we're ready to go hit the road. Wow. I mean, the first thing you notice, first gear just gets your attention right away. There's power all the way up. It's not like the Countach that I drove a few weeks ago where the thing is dead until around 5,000 RPM. You know, this thing is alive right away. You better be right up on the wheel and get through first and second gear pretty quick. Wow, throttle response is really impressive right out of the gate. Now, yes, I'm driving the car, middle of winter. We are gonna wash it. We just got it in. You know, these cars are meant to be driven, but we are gonna give it a good detail right afterwards. You don't want the car to sit after driving it out in the winter time. Yeah, you really can't baby this transmission. You really have to be deliberate. You know, place it in the gear that it wants to go in. Get a good blip and an even bigger blip down to first gear. Really be deliberate and give it the RPMs it wants. You know, far more luxurious than the F40 or the F50. This is a GT car. You know, the seats, they feel, you know, frankly, like they were made for a fat man compared to the F40 or the F50. But still nice and simple. Very clean instrumentation. You know, windshield wipers, turn signal, headlights, all right at your fingertips. Beautifully simplistic, right in front of your eyes. This killer Momo steering wheel. Oh yeah, this is a 1980s Ferrari, that's for sure. Okay, let's get on it here. Oh, yes. Oh yeah. What is that, 4th gear? Back down to 3rd, oh baby. Yep. That is the ticket. Yes, nice big blip on the downshift. It likes that. Back up. Oh yeah. These cars were so incredibly iconic. And you know, every Ferrari is, but for a GT car, you gotta remember that the 280 GTO was out around this time as well. But you know, what I think led to a lot of this car's fame or recognizability has to be that white car in Miami Vice. You know, you need a car like this to be doing 6-figure drug deals. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go up 4th gear, then back down to 5th gear. You know, cruising right around 100, 2,000 RPM. 5th gear does its job, but that's not where the fun is. Frankly, I kind of like the big mirror. It gives you a big wide view. I can almost see behind me. And really, I bet you there's hardly a blind spot at all. I feel like I need to compare it to the Countach because I just drove it, you know, right around the same time period. Similar styling, both cars out of Italy. This thing is much easier to drive. You know, the steering column doesn't shake. You really feel it. And again, you know, it was their Grand Touring car. The thing was meant to go on long tours. So Ferrari, after their Daytona, that was their front engine car, right? Then they wanted to get away from the front engine. The new thing was that mid-engine balance. So they went to the Berlinetta Boxer, and it was a little bit smaller car than this thing. And so this is really, I don't want to say a continuation of the Berlinetta Boxer, but they improved on it. They certainly improved on it. They made it wider, they made it longer, obviously making the car handle better. They kept that flat V12. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. like I was saying, they kept that flat V12, but they improved on the car. So a lot of guys were complaining, and I'm sure in the hot weather I would too. In the Berlinetta, they stuck the rad up front and then plumbed it, you know, obviously to the engine through the cabin, heating up the cabin. Doesn't seem very efficient to me. So what they decided to do over the train tracks, what they decided to do here for the Testa Rossa was they put their two rads, they took it off the front end, increased the front end size so you could put bigger luggage in there. So they took their two rads, they put them on the sides of the car, and they were just gonna gather the air there and then have a short little plumbing system right to the engine. Obviously, it's not a full-on race car, so they couldn't just have two massive, rads on the side of the car with scoops. They had to close it off, but they still needed the air to get through. So you came up with the cheese grater sides. Effectively closing off the rad, but still allowing the air in and giving it one of the most iconic looks of the 1980s. The gearbox is so incredibly smooth in this thing. Some guys kind of complain that you've got to be precise with the gated shifter. To me, it's not a 1980s Ferrari unless it looks like this. Let's get the sun visor down here. Actually, pleasantly large sun visor. Stand on it here. Just pops out of gear, shifting around 5,000 RPM. Back down through the S's. Steering wheel's a little bit funny. I feel a little bit like a truck driver. It's kind of tilted up, but I don't care. See how well this thing stops. I mean, not great. Not great by today's standards. But really, who cares? Let's get her up to speed here. Oh, listen to that flat V12 sing. Oh yeah. 4.9 liter, 385 horsepower. 385 horsepower, that is nothing to sneeze at. Similar to the 288 GTO, obviously the production numbers are a lot higher. Until recently, these cars were extremely affordable, 50, 60 grand up until not that long ago. And then they really just took off. Average price for one of these things right now, gotta be around $150,000, $160,000. Oh, I can't get over how well this thing downshifts. But man, at all RPMs, does this engine sound good. And the ride is very smooth. With front and rear wishbones, great suspension on this thing. Let's get her going here. All right, braking. Big downshift, nice. Through the S's, yep. Back up, 5,000 RPM. Oh yeah. The car really likes third gear. I imagine if you were racing one of these things or just taking it to the track, which you could really take this car to the track. It's got a dry sump. You don't need to worry about it like how C4 Corvettes guys were just blowing them up because of the wet sump engine. Nice dry sump. This is a Ferrari. Don't be afraid to take it to the racetrack. Wind it out. It sounds good on the D-cell too. All right. Starting to fog this thing up, getting too excited. All right, I'm gonna need to hit the defog here, which I don't know how to do because it seems to be all in Italian, even though there's no words. Guess I'll just rub the windshield. Defog, whack-a-mole. Okay, defog, press that button. Guess it stops all the other air. Crank the air here. Yes, we are in defog now. go, 0 to 60, 5.2 give or take seconds. That's pretty quick for the time, still pretty quick. And the only time you really notice like the power steering, or lack of it, is when you're turning the car around. The second you get going, very smooth. You know, it doesn't have that kind of, like the Countach, it doesn't have that go-kart feeling where you can really feel every bump. But you do get the advantage of really kind of being over the front wheels again with the engine in the back. Let's give it some juice here. See if we can break it loose. Oh yeah, spun the tires in first there. Can't spin them in second. So big V12 engine, giving it a top speed, 180 miles an hour. Can't ask for much more. Perfect cool temperature for a drive, right around 0 degrees, 32 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans. And I don't have to worry about overheating it. It makes lots of power. Well, hard time breaking it loose. You know, I don't want to push it too hard on the road here, but I want to say the car is pretty well balanced. You know, I haven't gotten it loose in the rear. I haven't been able to get it to push in the front. You know, I'm sure that would change if I get on a little patch of snow here. Yeah, the thing really gets up and goes. 355 foot-pounds of torque. You can really feel all of it. Very raw driving experience. I mean, the interior is just out of control. You are sitting in 1986. But as far as the driving experience goes, I think Ferrari really hit the nail on the head. You get out of it what you put in, but it's not beating you up on the road. The seat is comfy, the suspension is smooth, the steering input is just wonderful without being too rigid. You know, it doesn't feel like you're rattling around in a race car. What a treat. Oh, yes. Getting better on those downshifts. You know, as easy as they wanted to make this car to drive, it's nothing like today's cars. Today's cars, you know, you get in a new Porsche, you get in a new Ferrari, and you can go bang off a pretty quick lap time. This car, you know, even though you're not taking it to the track necessarily, maybe you are, you've got to learn it. You've got to spend some time in this car, figure out what it wants. These old cars, they have a spirit. You have to spend some time with them. Touch the brakes, turn it in, turns in nicely. I am so pleasantly surprised by this car. Oh yeah, really just fires out of first gear, up into second through the RPM. Oh baby, oh yeah. That is the sound we're after. Right into third gear. The car loves third gear. You decel and then you pick up the throttle again and it comes alive instantly. Instantly. Yes, wow. Can't believe how well this car handles, even in this cold weather. Wow, downshift. So stable. Car performs so well. Let's go up to fourth gear. Back down to third before the corner turn in. Yes, gets light. Back to the power, all the way to the floor. Wind it out. Hard on the brakes, hard on the brakes. the most iconic looking cars, but for me, it's all that V12. It's all that Ferrari sound. Man, does it sound good. And then the horn. Had to get this poor girl home before sunset. Okay, as much fun as that was, and cars are meant to be driven, I've got to go wash this thing. It's straight to the wash bay. I'm not a pro at this. I don't detail cars every day, but I got to get this thing clean. The longer it sits, the worse it's going to be. So a good rinse, and then I'll try and do my best to clean this thing up. So if you're gonna go out and drive the car in the middle of winter, the big thing is you don't wanna let it sit with salt. I'm gonna go around with this squirt bottle here and just kind of clean up spots that I see. And then I'm just gonna grab this rust check here, spray it in the cracks, spray it in the crevices. You know, it'll creep, it'll do its job, and you're not gonna hurt anything. You're gonna wanna wipe the excess off so it's not gonna pick up more dust and dirt than normal, but just a good idea. All right, back in the showroom and ready to be sold. Okay, before I ask you guys if you want a car like this, if you need a car like this, let me show you the difference between the 86 with the flying mirror, single lug. Let's go look at an 89. So 86 was the last year the cars looked like that. Then in 87, they dropped the mirror down on the driver's side, added the passenger side mirror. They still had the single lug. And then in 88, they went to the 5-bolt pattern. This being an 89, obviously has the 5-bolt pattern and both mirrors. All right, so the car's cleaned up, did a shakedown, it's ready to be put on the website. You know, to give you guys a little bit of insight, this car being in a more desirable configuration, monospecchio mirror, and the single lug as opposed to the 89, but the 89, it is a pristine car. Only 7,000 miles on it. The interior doesn't even look like it was sat in. So we're gonna list both cars at the same money, $144,000 a piece. So now I have to ask you guys the question, do you need a car like this? Well, we know that this car is absolutely essential for any type of serious police work.
Absolutely essential for any type of serious police work, huh?
That's it, right? But for the rest of us who aren't undercover 1980s Miami cops, do you want a car like this? Oh yeah, you want a car just like this. Thanks for watching. Be sure to drop a like and a comment now to help our channel get seen. Hit subscribe and check out our other videos for more legendary motorcar.